Right now, welcome back to another edition. I'm just kidding.
Also, I like this energy. Let's keep it up. All right.
All right, Education Roundtable. We're doing a topic that I'm super excited about because I know our students struggle with study tips. I can also make a guess of why else they struggle with taking tests or just retaining the information. That's just me being me and guessing. So what we're going to do is not allow me to guess. I'm going to turn the floor over to you to kind of give some input on what you've seen over your career here as far as study tips and how our students can study smarter, not longer, not harder. So, Christina, we had already got off, kind of started to talk about it earlier. So I'm gonna switch over to you. Study tips, what you got?
Games. I think having students make their own individual games for each other, making flashcards. I love flashcards. Cahoots. Cahoots is always a great one. Starting your day off, I think stretching and getting them going kind of helps their mind. And just the verbiage of how you teach them to kind of help them stick, kind of like DJ got club membrane, and then you got DJ nucleus in charge, right? Then you go psycho in the cytoplasm, that's where all the activity. Get out of control, you got the gel-like substance, protoplasms take you to gel. So I think just things like that, kind of streaking their interest kind of helps them kind of remember a little bit more so they're not so hard. But the games, I do like games. I think that helps people get out of their mind. And I think worst thing is studying, cramming it all in the night before, and then hoping you got it all, or thinking that you're doing yourself good because you're too far ahead of the class. And now you don't retain what you're going over, and now you can't understand why you don't know if you've done it. So, yeah, scene.
Pass the baton.
Pass the baton to you. What you got, girl?
I just said relax, take it small chunks at a time. Don't overdo it. Study groups work really well. Don't wait till the last minute.
100.
And ask questions. Because if you sit there and you think you're doing something more cramming or moving too far ahead, might not be the right ahead that they need to be at.
Right.
So
I think it's interesting because we know that they should be asking questions, but what's the hesitation in them asking questions? Do they not know the types of questions they're supposed to ask?
I think so.
They think they have it, or
maybe being called stupid because you had a question that you don't realize everyone else would have, just no one else wants to say it. So a lot of people get in their own head, which relax. I like that one because you just gotta breathe, relax. You're probably thinking some other people are.
Every time I have a student that say, I'm going to ask a stupid question, I said, no, it's not stupid. I always stop them and I say that because I don't want them to have that always in their head, that questions are stupid. So
if you don't know the answer,
well, and I
you may
say,
be stupid later,
let's go
so
look it up. So we can find it out
You
together.
figure that out,
But I try to make sure that they know that questions are not stupid.
Yeah, there is no
Yeah.
stupid question.
Correct.
otherwise they get in their head and self-sabotage, and then once they self-sabotage anything you're trying to study, you won't retain.
Actually, there is one stupid question. It's the one that isn't asked.
Oh, okay, you should be on a poster.
I think that if you all think about it, we've all said, "Oh, I never thought of that," right? Yeah. And what I learned with our students is, because I always ask, and usually multiple times, any questions? Everybody got it? What you think? And I realized they don't know they have a question until you present information properly for them to start thinking and develop questions. And that I learned through my wife and daughter at home talking about stuff with them. But anyway, yeah, they don't know they have a question. You can ask them, "Got any questions?" I guess not.
Yeah,
Because
whatever you told me, I think I got.
Yeah. So did you give them everything they need, or yeah, or holes in your presentation.
I think that's so important, you know, where you're going back over and instead of saying, do you have any questions, like actually going back through and say, can you do this? Can you show me how this goes together or where this is supposed to go? And if they can do it, then they have it. And if they can't, they might have some questions.
Question should be from us.
Yeah.
Do you know how to do a parasitic draw test?
Mm-hmm.
What's a parasitic draw test? Well, you do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Also asking them for takeaways, what they got
Yeah.
out of it. I
Yeah.
think that helps out a lot because some people will get a takeaway and you're like, oh, you got that? When did you get that? And they, you know what I mean? So I think just asking them what they got out of it, writing at least 3 things helps too.
Yeah, I always do a thing like, what was your favorite thing you learned today? And what was something that you didn't know?
Mm-hmm.
So then they,
It holds them accountable.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even think of how many times, like, how was your day at school?
it was okay.
What'd you do today?
I was like, at least you got a fine. I usually get.
Nothing. But we know that's not true.
Right.
So, you know, asking them
Yeah.
to bring a takeaway.
Yeah. 100%.
Sam, what you got?
Having them not second guess themselves.
Yeah, always go with your gut.
So many tests were lost.
I'm like, how do you know which one was your gut answer? The first one you thought or the second one? That's
Where
what
do
I'm
you
like.
think that answer came from? You think
Right.
It just felt, it fell out. Oh, it's probably because someone told you that. I think that's probably the best advice that was given to me is not to second guess. Like if you're looking at a question, instead of like looking for the answers to figure it out, it's like, what's the answer to the question? And then you figure out the answer based on what you know, not based on the information given to you, because that'll screw you up. You're like, well, maybe it could be this one, or maybe it could be that one. And I was like, I don't know. This is the answer to the question. That's what I thought.
So that can also screw them up though, because we have found that our answers aren't the correct answers
Oh, yeah,
that
that's
they're
not
doing.
good.
So, you know, even though corporate's making those tests, they're
Yeah,
not
the-
the
we all
correct
have
answer.
Oh, well, how fun that is to be able to look in
Yeah.
there and say like,
Yeah.
hey, not on here, help me, and be like, you're right.
Yeah. Yep, and we've done that.
The same ones I preempt when, you know, we're going over the study guide and things like that. The test will say this, but this is the correct answer. But then they're like, I'm giving you the information so you have the right information.
I started going over the test after with any
Oh, yeah,
questions that they
important.
have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because from there you can go back and say, I second guessed myself. I actually didn't know this. I'm glad we're going back over this, but I know the information.
Right,
I do think
same.
it's important.
That's why I think the Kahoots is good because you can reword it versus what the test says, and you can just put in your own words. That way, they're not getting the answer, but they're learning and they don't even know they knew it. So yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if I would even tell them. I'd like, you get extra credit if you can find the question that's wrong.
100%.
That's extra credit. I don't know. I have this lollipop.
Everyone likes surprise.
Carla.
All the things that they said, there is the AI program that Hannah and I use, and it's called Notebook LM. So you can do it on your phone or you can do it on the computer. And so you can upload documents and it will make an actual podcast out of the notes.
That's
Oh,
scary.
wow.
It is so cool. Hannah's, I think it was Hannah, maybe it was you who actually gave it to me.
Yeah, I did.
And I was like, this won't work. So I uploaded our ACCSC documentation and I listened to it and I'm like, blah, 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 blah. I was like,
I know.
wild.
It's just banter.
Wild. It's so cool. It's 2 people talking back and forth.
Yeah, and so I'll
I don't
do
know how.
things like that, and I'll just tell them to listen to it when they have time, because a lot of them, you know, they listen to stuff all the time anyway.
Sure.
What is it called?
It's Notebook LM.
Yeah. And you can upload your PowerPoints to it. You can
It
upload
does
almost
mind
anything.
maps.
Mind
It
maps.
does,
It'll ask questions.
yeah.
It's about the coolest
They
stuff I've
can
seen.
go in and they can
That's
ask
Google.
questions directly in the program, and it will answer the questions from the input that it's given.
I'm gonna be real. I don't like any of this.
See, I don't like it. I think it's so
I love
scary.
you guys are all
It's
great,
really
but
not.
nah, dude, that means they can make a podcast about you and no, they know.
I know.
Yeah, no, I don't need all that. I think AI Cosmos very hard because then people
So, yeah.
want
So
something
you
crazy
create an
and they think
account,
it's
and then so you can
real.
go
And
in.
well, first of all, I had to fight wigs and hair pieces.
No, it's not.
Now I'm
it's
fighting AI. Like that's not even a real person.
Yeah.
Like,
Not a real person.
So-
your hair will
you
never
can
look like
upload a
that.
PDF,
Right?
YouTube,
You see those
you
nail
can
art?
do all
That's me.
kinds.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to help you.
And so,
But yeah, no, that's scary to me.
Sorry.
Luann, you already kind of gave
Yeah, me
some
too.
input. Do you have anything else to add?
Not doubting yourself. I see a lot of students doubt themselves. They'll go through a test and you can actually watch it real time. That they'll think about it, get it wrong, think about it, get it wrong, and then just go, nah, I'm done.
Yeah.
And they'll
Just give up.
bomb a test because they were like, nah, I'm
Mhm.
over
I
it.
don't know it anyway, so.
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
not-
When in reality, if they would just stop, slow down, think about it for a minute,
Yeah.
have a little self-confidence, that's extremely important,
Mhm.
you know? Yeah, I do a lot of pre-questioning throughout the term, you know. Somebody said something and it was along the same lines as I don't teach the test. I think that's a cruddy teacher, a lazy teacher. I teach all the information, but I do use some test questions and sprinkle them in there,
Right.
you know, so that they might see that and go, wait, we talked about that. I know the answer to this,
Mhm.
which builds confidence as you do better on tests. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, your header in the email it scared me because I am not good at studying. I didn't do good in school. I wasn't a school person.
Mhm.
But being here, I've learned, yeah, confidence makes a big difference. Hearing and remembering the information, slowing down to get it
Mhm.
helps. Taking notes, you know,
Yeah.
is tremendous.
And really knowing, are you visual? Are you kinesthetic? Are you
Yeah.
audio?
Most of us are hands-on.
Yeah.
Of us are
Yeah.
hands-on.
Too.
That's why we teach here.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I was actually going to add that in there because I do know that it's super important that if you know what type of a learner you are, that's how you should be studying. So when you sent me the note, I'm an auditory learner. The fact that I can play something off in the
Right.
background and listen to it, chances are very likely that I'm going to remember what I heard. And so I just play it over and over again. I'm like, yep, got it, I'm ready to go.
I've even told students, play podcasts or play some of that
Yeah.
stuff and have your phone under your pillow. And while you're
Yeah,
sleeping.
it works.
Yeah,
I
it
did it when
does.
I was young. Somebody told me that was going to work, and I was just like, whatever. But I'm lazy. I was just lazy enough.
Right?
And so like I've always told people the story that we were supposed to be able to list all of the states in order. And I'm like, I don't have time to study the states in order. So back in the day, I got my little tape recorder out and I set them all in order. And then I did exactly
Yeah,
that.
like
I
that.
just pressed it and then it replayed while I was
I love
sleeping.
that.
And I'm just like, Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado. I was like, still, I can do it to this day. And I'm like real excited about it. And I was like, but I never studied for that. Like, I mean, I did in a way, but it did like just seep into my memory because I was able to hear it repeated over and over.
See, mine was
It worked.
Mine was a
It does.
song. They made ours into a song.
And that works
And
too.
then I was like,
Yeah.
my memory's gone, but I can tell you what song was
That's
playing in
right.
2002. Let you guys know that.
Yeah.
And I know all the lyrics.
Yeah. And then we had a girl once who was a kinesthetic learner and she was having trouble with tests. And she also told me that she really likes art. And I was like, well, how about when you're studying, you draw really weird pictures off on the side? Like maybe it's like a pig flying or something just really ridiculous as you're going through and taking notes, keep doodling. Your brain will go back to the doodle and will be able to pull the information. And lo and behold, this girl did so good on the next time. She's like, whoa, I remember the pig flying. And I was like, I do too. But yeah, knowing the type of learning you're for your studies. Yeah, you're not going to cram if you have ADHD or a kinesthetic type of learner. Which those two things aren't necessarily hand in hand, but you're not going to sit and learn for 2 hours straight. Versus I could sit and just be like, whatever they're saying, it's fine, got it. Okay, cool. But nobody wants to sit still, probably. So just knowing that. Charles.
Well, when you start getting tired, stop and take a break.
Yeah.
Don't keep
Yeah.
pushing because
Don't
that's not
push
gonna help.
Yeah.
And don't be distracted while you're doing it too.
Which is hard because I'm the type of person, I can only focus on one thing. But my children can have the TV going, music in their ears, and be able to write a paper. And I'm like,
Mhm.
how?
Mhm.
Mm-mm. I do. I get too many squirrel moments and I'm like, ooh, something's shiny. And I'm done. And so nowadays,
Well, I could do all of those.
yeah,
I
see?
can.
But it's cool for you to know that. It's cool
Yeah.
because another story that I remember is somebody similar to you just needed like focus, and their children had everything going on, and they used to get in trouble all the time. Turn that off. How are you studying if you have that on? And then they turn it off and they're like, I need something.
Just the thoughts in my head is not working.
Yeah, I think that's the absolute truth. Yeah, if you have something you have to filter out, I feel like it focuses your concentration on what you know you need to work on. And it keeps you from rambling somehow because, yeah, I used to use the radio
Right.
all the time.
A lot of the students will have their headphones on listening to their own music.
But then I start listening to the music and I forget
Yeah.
to do what I'm doing. I have to have it quiet and
Yeah.
no distraction.
If everything's quiet, my brain.
My brain will go
Yeah, I'm the other way.
Yeah.
I will fill in that quietness. Know that. In my head's a party. I'm all, hey,
Yeah.
hey, hey. I should go clean this now. I'm all,
I would hate to see you
Clap.
sleeping.
oh, girl, you don't even know. You don't even know. Once I get there.
So more witchcraft, I also have this.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You can mix rosemary essential oil with some peppermint and just have it like indirectly inhaling because the rosemary helps the memory retain and peppermint essential oil keeps you alert.
Mm.
So I'll have them do that when they're studying.
Huh.
Yeah.
I like that.
Blasting off essential oils and everyone's cost you peppermint.
Yeah, it's gonna be someone that's like, I can't handle that smell. I'm allergic.
Just put it in your companion system.
What's happening?
Yeah. Charles, can you help me with that?
I know how to do that.
Just get it filtered throughout the building.
Well, I think it's important too, like given all these things for students, how to study it's important for instructors as well. 'Cause
Right.
if you're not confident, you don't know what you're doing, you're self-doubting yourself and all those things that were just suggested, that doesn't help. And so that makes you look a certain kind of way, which then kind of puts you in your own head. And then next thing you know, the instructor's up there like, and the students are like, you know, so I think just having yourself in the same what you're wanting, expecting from the students, I think that helps too.
And I think you all having your own individual stories, whether or not you were great at test taking or not so good at test taking, but being able to say, but I still passed my test.
Yeah.
I still made it through school. I still did all these things. I might not have been the best at it, but I still figured out the other end of that is what those students need to hear. I have a hard time talking to students about tests. I know like the black and white what you're supposed to do, but I also am an auditory learner. I feel like it's not necessarily fair. They're like, what'd you do? I'm like, I don't know. I just listened to it real fast and I went in there and took the test. I felt real confident about it. So I always just try to tell people to feel confident about it. And I also say, you know, like if you don't know the answer to a question, you go to the next one. And if you don't know the answer to that one, you go to the next one until you find one that you know the answer to, and you're like, well, look at that, I did study. Look at this. Because sometimes your brain just needs to get into like some momentum and the habit of feeling good about knowing what's on the test. But
So that way they don't do what yours did, like, meh, done here. Off the
yeah,
rest of
I'm
them.
done. I'm like, that.
We're
And I found
ABDC.
Sometimes you can go back and answer a question.
Oh, for sure.
because
Right,
You
you
answered
do,
that
but
one and that
I
jogged
know
your memory.
for-
Oh, yeah.
There are
The
questions
FLEX,
that
the
lead
massage
to,
therapists, they don't allow you to go back anymore.
yeah, ours.
You used to be able to
you can't
answer the
back
ones
up.
that you knew and go back to the time,
Ah.
and they
Yeah.
don't let you go back anymore.
Yeah,
Ours
I
does.
think that's, yeah,
That-
Wow.
that is.
yeah,
So they're really going to have to make sure that they know what they're doing.
right, yeah,
And feeling confident about answering those questions because that could be scary. Like you can't come back to this. And like,
yeah.
Yeah.
This one, I guess.
Right. Okay.
Because I know I have to answer it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But being able to slow down their mindset still so that they can focus in on, you know, answering the question.
I think like boards, like I like to tell students, if you think too hard, then you're gonna psych yourself out. But process of
Yeah,
elimination.
for sure.
Take one, they're gonna make it fancy. They're gonna use whatever words, break it down. It's not that one, absolutely not this. Now, what makes the difference between these two? Just kind of problem
Weed it out.
solving them down,
Mhm.
because
Right.
they are gonna make them fancy. They are gonna say it in ways you're gonna be like, "Meh." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
to
what do
trick
those
you.
words? Yeah.
And figure out are they asking? Are they saying what doesn't belong or what is?
Like
Making
reading
that,
the question, making sure you actually.
Yeah. Can make a huge difference.
Mhm.
Which of these things is not like the other?
Yeah.
Correct.
Does anybody get a chance, like on their actual testing, to do like? Can any one of your programs do open book testing? No,
No.
open book.
Yeah.
No open book. Yes.
Mhm.
Yours?
Some of the pre-test and like the lecture classes, but
I mean, their practice quizzes they can, but not on
yeah,
their
none of
finals.
this.
Finals.
I'm gonna have to say no all the way around
Is-
the board.
Yeah, it's that totally defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
Although there are a lot of students, even with an open book, would
Yeah.
still.
Well, and some of
not
our pro-
do
like
that.
That's true.
yeah,
It takes
yeah.
them a lot longer, I found.
Correct.
Yeah,
And so
it
that's
does.
why they're timed out, but the practice quizzes, they get multiple chances to do it.
Right.
So I just tell them, okay, this is what you're expected to look at or kind of know what the chapter's about.
Mhm.
So if we do it before, I don't expect you to know the answers because we haven't covered that material.
Mhm.
So then they can go back and retake it and find the correct
Mhm.
answers.
Well, if your programs can't use it, they
And
should.
see, and some people
use
don't
it.
have the practice.
We don't have any
Yeah.
practice
We-
tests. We have
we have-
one and done.
Yeah. Pre-tests.
But if you guys are using books, I know you guys use them then, and then medical billing and coding, 100%, they're not gonna get through their program.
Dude, like 100.
But advice that was always given to me is just have the tabs off to the side so that you're not flipping to the, index and then trying to figure out what's
Mhm.
going on. Like you should be able to just read. I kind of saw your tabs there.
Oh, yeah,
You
that's
should be
right.
able to
Come
just
on.
read where you are, flip into it, and then you
And
should
then
have your notes off to the side so
Yeah.
that, you're not taking more time to find answers. Because that's exactly what happens. They're like, I can use my book. I'm like, no, you can use it to assist you. But you're not gonna find out the answer to every question here unless you have like a system to get to.
And figure out,
quickly.
what's actually going on.
Yeah.
So,
I thought all this information was super helpful. So hopefully, if we have students who are struggling, instructors who are struggling, helping their students get better test scores, there's a better way to help them other than giving them the
the answer.
answers to the test. Obviously, we look at test questions and we figure that out, but retaining the information is important, and our students are capable of retaining information. So we just have to help them find their best way.
100.
That's it. Unless anybody has anything else. Thanks.
Mhm.
We'll see you guys next time.